What's up, guys and gals? I'm Sunny and welcome to Cloud Gaming X, and in this video is more for the newcomers looking for information on Stadia and not the regulars. So what I want to do in this video is break down all the pricing from the subscription model to the controller cost. But before I do, if you end up liking this video, hit that like button because it is so helpful. And if you're brand new, definitely think about subbing to the channel, and it would be completely awesome, as we do cover a lot of Stadia content here, from Stadia news to gameplay to game reviews and live streams. So we're going to be doing all that when Stadia comes out. But without further ado, let's break down all the costs associated with Google Stadia. So to start, Google Stadia will launch somewhere in November for those who have the Founders Edition and for those who have the Premier Edition. Now, there's no word on a specific release date, and with those editions, they will be costing $129.99 US or 129 euros. Now, in order to access Google Stadia for the first set of months, you do have to purchase the Founders Edition or the Premier Edition, as there's no way for you to purchase the monthly subscription without those editions and have access to Stadia without it. Keep it in mind also, a Buddy Pass can also access Google Stadia, but I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. Now, what you get with the Founders Edition is a Stadia controller, a Chromecast Ultra, which can hook up to your TV through an HDMI port. And if you're not familiar with what a Chromecast Ultra is, it's a piece of hardware that lets you play online content like Hulu, Netflix, music. But what we're really going to use it for here with this is playing Google Stadia in our games. You also get 3 free months of Stadia Pro, which lets you play your new games up to 4K, which typically has a value of $9.99 a month. Also with Stadia Pro, you'll be getting a free game every month as long as you are subbed with the Pro Edition. That's key. You got to remember you have to be subbed. And on launch, we're going to be receiving Destiny 2 with all its DLC and the upcoming DLC, not including 2 other games you'll receive with the other 2 months following after the launch. Also coming with a Founders Edition is going to be a Founders Badge. Also, you'll be able to give a Buddy Pass to give to someone who will have access to Google Stadia, which is important because there's no way to access Google Stadia without either the Buddy Pass or the Founders or Premier's Edition until the universal launch. And last but not least, you'll be getting your Stadia name to choose from, and you'll be able to get to choose your unique name before everyone else. Now, to be clear on some information, if you're in Europe and you missed out on the Founders Edition, unfortunately, you'll be missing out on some things from the Founders Edition with the Premier Edition. Now, in the Premier Edition, you'll be getting everything that I just mentioned, like the Chromecast, the controller, the 3 months, but what you won't be getting is the option to get your unique name, or you won't be able to give out a Buddy Pass, and there's really no option with the controller. You'll be getting the Wasabi controller, which I personally like that controller, but you don't get really an option to get like the Midnight Blue controller, unfortunately. As for the base monthly model, well, if you're not here part of the club here at the start, when Stadia finally releases to everyone in 2020, what you can expect to pay for is $9.99 for the Pro model that gets you 4K and 1 free game every month. As long as you have a Chrome browser somewhere, you can access Stadia like a computer or a phone, keeping in mind that only the Google Pixels phones at the start will be the only ones that'll be able to use Stadia, with a lot more phones to come at a later date. But if you're someone who has no need for 4K, no worries. You will have access to the free base model with Stadia that gives you 1080 60 FPS, and with this model you have access to games that you purchase without paying anything else but the game using that free base model. Think of Stadia at this point like Steam or Origin, where you purchase a game and then you have access to them off the Stadia servers with the Stadia platform. But at this point, if you're wondering when I'm going to mention how this is going to be Netflix for games, well, I'm definitely here to disappoint you. This is going to be nothing like Netflix for games. You will be purchasing your games here on Stadia separate from any other platform. You will only have access to it on the Stadia platform. So when Cyberpunk 2077 comes out, you'll be purchasing that game standalone for the Stadia platform. And I'm sorry if I disappointed anyone out there, but if you're sub with the monthly Pro subscription, you do get 1 free game. And I think this works exactly like the Xbox Gold Pass or the PS4 Plus, where you get free games every month. So expect at least 1 free game as long as you are subbed to the Pro subscription model. And keep in mind, you have to keep subbed to it to have access to that game. If you end up unsubbing, you will no longer have access to it. But once you resub again, you'll have access to those free games. Last but not least, if you're someone who's only interested in Stadia for the free version and you plan to use Stadia and you want to have access to that awesome Wi-Fi Stadia controller, the controller itself is going to set you back around $69 US. And if you want the most lag-free performance, the Stadia controller is definitely a good route. Though as a PC gamer, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that there's going to be no lag with the keyboard and mouse. Keep in mind that you can use other controllers like the PS4 or Xbox controller with Stadia, or just your standard keyboard and mouse. So that's going to be all the pricing information out there that I'm aware of. Now, I know some people's misconception of Stadia is that it's going to be the Netflix for games. No, it's absolutely going to be nothing like that, and it's probably never going to be anything like that. You will be purchasing your games like you normally would on an Xbox or a PlayStation or Steam. There's no information on the price of the games other than it will be competitive with other platforms according to the powers at Stadia. So essentially what I translate that to is that expect the games to be around the $60 mark for a brand new game like it is on every other platform. But alright guys, I'm gonna head out. If you've enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor, hit that like button as it helps me out so much. If you're brand new to the channel, please consider subbing, as we're going to have so much happening here on this channel, and I'm looking forward to all of it. And if I've missed any information, please let me know down in the comments. And if you're good at the pricing, if the pricing's fair to you, let me know down in the comments if everything just checks out for you and you're excited, or if you think anything's overpriced, let me know down in the comments. I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts. I'm very, very curious as to everyone's thoughts. But that's going to be it for me. From me and Ace, thank you guys for watching here on Cloud Gaming X. And yeah, and this is Sunny, and I hope you all have a sunny day.